Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel MSI Analytics. So in today's video, we are diving into the fundamentals of DAX, which is also known as data analysis expressions. In this video, we will cover some essential formulas from basic to advanced. So let's jump right in. So I have already loaded my dataset. So here's the dataset we will be working with. We are working with a distribution company, Data, that sells various beverage brands. And we have the geographical location, and as well as we have other financials for the analysis that we are going to do today. So let's start with our first DAX formula, which is total revenue. So to create this, we are going to select new measure, and then it is going to open a formula bar. We are going to name this measure total revenue. After that, we are going to write sum. You're just simply going to select it, and then you are going to choose the column for revenue from your table. Close the bracket and your formula is now ready. Right now you cannot see any visual right here because we have only created the DAX for right now. So now I am going to select the visual matrix, and now I am going to put total revenue into the matrix. And now we have the visual for total revenue. You can also edit this matrix right here by clicking it twice, and now you can edit the formula however you want. So this was it for our first formula. Now next, let's find out the number of unique brands as well that we sell. So for that, we are going to create a new measure called unique brands. For that, I am going to select the unique measure again. Let's name it as unique brands. For this, we are going to use the function DISTINCTCOUNT. When you find this, just click enter, and then we are going to select beverage brand and close the bracket. And now we are going to hit enter. So we have our second measure ready. For that, I am going to select a matrix again, and I am going to put unique brands into the matrix, and it shows us that we are selling 6 unique brands. Now let's create a measure for profit. This will be total revenue minus expenses. We will use the sum function for both revenue and expense, then subtract the expenses from the revenue. So now let's see how we can do it. So now let's create another measure. We will name this measure as profit. After that, I'm going to select the sum function, and we are going to choose the column revenue, close the bracket, minus, again sum, then we will choose expenses, close the bracket, and we have our profit ready. Now let's put it into the matrix and see what value it returns to us. I'm going to take all the measures in one matrix only. So I'm going to put unique brands right here too. And I'm going to remove this visual. After that, we are going to profit right into this matrix too. And we have our value for the profit. Let's just increase the text size for this. For that, we are going to go in view, select this option, scroll down, customize current theme, select text, then increase the size from 10 to 18 and apply. So we have our total revenue, we have our unique brands, and we have our profit all in one matrix. Now let's learn how we can calculate profit margin. We are again going to create a new measure for it, and we will name it as profit margin. We will use a divide function to handle cases where revenue might be 0. As we have already renamed our measure to profit margin percentage, we will use profit as a numerator and revenue as a denominator. So now let's work with the divide formula. Then select profit. This profit is going to be the measure that we created. After that, we are going to close the bracket, select comma. We will choose total revenue. And then we are going to close the bracket. Also, we will put a percentage sign right here. And now we have our measure ready for profit margin. Now let's put it into the matrix and see what it returns us. So we had our profit around 6 million. Now let's move on to calculated columns. Before that, we are going to go in our table view, and here you can see that you have a column for region and then you have a column for state. But what if we want region and state in one column? So for that, we are going to create a new column which will have both the region and state. So now let's select this option, new column. And we are going to name this column region and state. After that, I'm going to select region. And we will use this sign ampersand, then inverted commas, space, inverted comma again, so that we have a space between the region and state. And then the sign of ampersand again, and then we will choose our state column and hit enter. We have our region and state column ready. But let's say if we want a comma after Northeast and space before New York. What we are going to do is we are going to edit this. We are going to put a comma right here and then hit enter. So now we have a comma and then a space before our state. So now let's create a new column for categorizing shipments. We will use the if formula to classify them as a large shipment or a small shipment based on the units sold. So for example, if we are selling around 7,000 units, then it will be considered as a small shipment. But if you are selling around 12,000 units like in this one, then it will be considered as a large shipment. So again, I'm going to select a new column and I am going to name this column as category. For this, we are going to use the if function, and our use case column will be units sold. So let's select this column. After that, we are going to put that if our units are less than 5,000, then we will consider it as small, and if they are greater than 5,000, then we will consider it as large, and then close the bracket and hit enter. So here you go, it now shows us that these are considered as large shipment because they have units more than 5,000, and then this is considered as small because it has units less than 5,000. So now, what if we want to see three types of categories like small, medium and large? So for that, we are going to make this a nested function. Nested means function within function to define ranges. So for that, I'm going to just simply edit this formula. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write if before large, hit enter, select units sold again. After that, if it is less than 10,000, then it will be medium, and if that is not the case, then it will be large, and hit enter. So now, as you can see that we have three types of categories: large, medium and small. Finally, let's calculate the revenue for a specific beverage brand. For that, we are going to go back to our report view, and now let's say we have these beverage brands like Sprite, Fanta, Diet Coke, Powerade, Coca-Cola and several others. So now, what if we want to see that how much revenue is Diet Coke bringing to us? So for that, we are going to go back to the report view, and now we are going to create a new measure, and we are going to name it as Diet Coke revenue For this, we are going to use the calculate function. Our expression of use will be total revenue, which is actually the measure that we created before, comma, select the column beverage brand, hit enter, then is equals to. Now we are going to write Diet Coke and close the bracket, hit enter. We have our measure created. Now let's see by putting it into the matrix. So Diet Coke is bringing us the revenue of 1 million. So that is it for today's video. This was a quick guide type of video on DAX fundamentals. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and check out other videos for more Power BI tips and tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.